high side. Murphy shooting, save a rebound on the view.
Hey everyone, this is Casey. You are watching the Red Rubber Duck Win All Sports Network. The Steelers win 18-16 over the Baltimore Ravens at Acrisure Stadium. This was a classic game of not just AFC North football, but also a classic game of Steelers and Ravens. I said this was going to be a high-scoring affair, but I keep forgetting this game is a Bean Boozled jelly bean. You don't know what flavor it is until you bite into it. And this was another game that was decided within one possession. Just like all other games, this was going to come down to the loser having the most miscues. In that case, it was the Ravens that had more miscues. The Ravens may have gotten more yards. They had 329, but they could not overcome the 3 turnovers and a rarity in Justin Tucker missing multiple field goals in a game. Yeah, I couldn't believe what I saw when he missed from 47 and 50 yards. They did say Tucker was having his worst season thus far, but that doesn't discount his misses at the closed end of Acrisure Stadium of all places. Like, I can understand the open end with the wind coming from the river and everything, but we're talking about a kicker who was the most accurate in NFL history up until that point. Like, he's no longer the most accurate kicker in NFL history anymore. That honor belongs to Eddie Pinero, of all people. Like, if he made both of those field goals, we would be talking about a different game. But not all of the blame should fall on Tucker, as the Ravens could not help themselves as they turned the ball over 3 times during that game. One was on the second play of the game with Derrick Henry getting the ball ripped out of his hands by Nick Herbig. Welcome back, Nick, by the way. And it was then recovered by Deshaun Elliott. The other fumble was forced and recovered by the former Raven Patrick Queen after an Isaiah Likely reception. And the third turnover was a miraculous interception that involved a fight for the ball between Peyton Wilson and Justice Hill, which was won by Wilson. This was the number 1 offense in the league entering the game, and we got them to struggle, and those turnovers and misses really helped out a lot. Outside of Henry's touchdown drive, King Henry the 22nd didn't do much else. Lamar Jackson was able to wake up after a nightmare first half and was able to get his team in position to win, but the blunder on the 2-point attempt was the nail in the coffin. Looking at these two teams, there were going to be plenty of penalties as well, since these two teams absolutely hate each other. Now, there were going to be plenty of unsportsmanlike penalties on the field, as well as many others, and Baltimore did take the more costly penalties, as Pittsburgh settled for mainly holding and false start penalties. The Steelers' defense was able to hold the Ravens' offense to a low in points, 16, and this is their lowest yard total of the season. As I mentioned, 329 yards. That's their lowest. That's their lowest in the season thus far. That just shows how much of a hydra that the Steelers defense neutralized. So good job by the defense on Sunday. That was a hell of a job. Now the Steelers offense did just enough. That's all we could say. And this is the second time that Chris Boswell was the MVP of the offense. That's right, our kicker. He went 6 for 6 on field goals, and that's the second time this season he was responsible for all the points. Russell Wilson nearly matched Jackson in terms of passing yards with 205 compared to 207 from Jackson, despite not finding the end zone like Lamar did. He did come close, but it turned into an interception in the end zone for Marlon Humphrey. A player that got a lot of criticism for that play is Darnell Washington, our tight end. The guy is 6'7". He did have a couple of catches, so people are saying he should have been able to jump up and make a miraculous catch, or at least force an incompletion and force yet another Boswell kick. The team just needs to find a way to score in the end zone, especially when they reach the red zone. We did not perform very well in the red zone at all. We should have gotten at least 1 touchdown there. We got 122 yards on the ground against one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL. So we needed to trust our running game more often, especially during that second half. And the offensive line, they did okay for providing gaps for Harrison Warren. However, they did give up 4 sacks, but it wasn't that surprising with how good the Ravens were at getting sacks going into the game, so that wasn't a surprise there. We just need to limit the penalties ourselves. 7 penalties isn't going to fly either. I know the Ravens had 12, and those penalties definitely did hurt. As I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of penalties in this game, but we're going into deeper competition. 7 penalties, that has to change. Just show some more discipline, especially with these tough games coming up. It would be nice if we had gotten more people involved in the scoring, but it just wasn't meant to be, but it was enough. And that's all we could ask for. Overall, this game proved to be a classic Steelers-Ravens game. Close, hard-hitting, beef galore. It wasn't the prettiest game from both squads, but these two teams always bring out the worst in each other every single time they enter the battling arena. And this is another great chapter in the big rivalry. Now we sit at 8-2. We're 1.5 games in front of the Ravens now. We are 2 for 2 in the big tests in the second half from hell. Now we have a short week. The next game is in a couple days. On Thursday night, we will be going to Cleveland, Ohio to take on the Browns. I don't care what record the Browns have. If you get a chance to take out your rival, you're going to do it. And the Browns have had more success at Huntington Bank Field than they've had at Acrisure Stadium. And that's what divisional football is all about. Trying to take out your rival no matter how bad you are or how good you are. And hopefully you guys are ready to watch it with me because it's going to be good. But that's going to do it for me. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the Red Rubber Duck Win All Sports Network. It's going to be a very short week, as I mentioned, so I'm going to be working hard on my Steelers-Browns preview. Hopefully I get it done in a couple of days. But until we meet again, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, and as always, let's go Steelers.